Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spice's Love Lessons. I'm Spice, your host, Love Empowerment Coach, and I'm here with you today because I wanted to come in and talk about some pretty important things. And one of them is change. But before I start with that, I just wanted to say I have some really exciting things happening that I really want to tell everybody about. So please stick around to the end of the video. I'll tell you more about it. And yeah, it'll be a pretty exciting time. Um, so let's see. The world is a crazy place, right? I mean, I feel, and I don't know if any of you feel like this, but I feel like things are just always constantly changing. And change is something that it's really hard to get a handle on. There's two things that I can say about change. One is that change is the constant. Change happens no matter whether you want it to or not. So there's that kind of change that just happens to you and you have to kind of like roll with it. And then there's the other kind of change that you create. Now that change is so much harder to actualize. You really have to actually do something in order to create that change. Which one of these changes is harder to deal with? I don't know. Because when change just happens to you, it's kind of hard to deal with. So I'm a big fan of the create change in your life so that way you don't have to be changed in spite of the changes that you might want to make. So when you want to make changes, it's really a good idea to think about how you want to make changes and to create a system that will allow you to make those changes in a way that's going to be less of an impact on your personal life. So tonight I'm actually doing a workshop for my people here in the local Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. I'm doing a workshop that's called Love Road Mapping. And this is something that I'm really excited about because I feel like it's a really cool idea. And it's all about looking at the things in your life that you want to change and then creating a roadmap of how to change them and specific steps to take. So if you're watching and you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and you are a strong woman who wants to change your patterns in love, drop me a line and I'll send you the invite. Although I have to tell you, we're getting kind of maxed out. So I'm not sure if we have much room left for people to actually come. So it's a popular subject, right? Change. So anyway, if you're watching this video, if you want to just say hi, if you don't feel like saying hi, if you just want to like it or love it, that's always really appreciated because then I know that you were here and that you saw it. So many times I see I have hundreds and hundreds of views and only a couple of likes, and I'm like, hey, so what's up with all those people that viewed it? Did they just not like it? But I'm sure it must make you feel something. If you're watching it, you must have some kind of emotion coming up. And that's all I really care about. I don't care if it's the mad face. I don't care if it's the sad face. I don't care if it's the wow face. As long as I invoke some kind of emotion in you, that's all I really care about. So now let's move forward with the 6 steps to create change in your life, or simply just the 6 steps to create change in life itself. So number 1. Number 1 is about clarity. Number 1 is you have to gain clarity about what you want and need. Now, gaining clarity is a long process. So even though, these are 6 steps, they're not 6 easy steps. I would say there's 6 steps that probably encompass about 600 steps within each one. But don't get too freaked out by that. The reality is that any of these things are things that you can actually do and you can actualize in your own life. So gaining clarity about what you really want to need. This is a concept of just doing a lot of the internal work that's going to get you to a point where you really, really know what you want and what you need. So how do you do that? Well, like I said, it's kind of a lifelong process. There are many different ways to go about it, but what I like to do in my work is a lot of mental and emotional looking back onto what are the things that excite you? What are the things that make you feel good? What are the things that don't make you feel good? What are the things that work for you in your life? And just becoming really, really self-aware about yourself and not putting a level of blame and shame on yourself about your feelings or about your wants and your needs. A lot of times that's what actually stops us from getting the things that we want and need, because we have a lot of shame. So when you're trying to gain clarity about what you want, you should be okay with whatever that is. As long as it's coming from a place of clarity, that you really thought and worked through these things and you know what it is that you want, then it's okay to speak that out. Because then if somebody says, wow, you really want that, why do you want that? You have an answer. You know, when somebody says, why do you want something? And you immediately get all like, you know, like flustered and like, you know, well, and you get all like defensive about it, that's a sure sign that there's actually still some more work to do. So once you gain that clarity of what you want to need, and you just can actively be like, no shame about it, then you know that you've reached a good point, and you can move forward. So number 2 is what you can move forward with. Number 2 is about boundaries and creating boundaries based on what you truly want and need. So this is a big one, because I feel like boundaries are a big thing and something we talk about a lot, and it's something that we all need to have in our lives in order to feel safe and comfortable. However, so many times we're creating boundaries based off of triggers and trauma and unclear wants and needs and things that are not really fully worked through. And we're basing these boundaries out of fear that something is going to happen. So we say, okay, I need to put up this boundary so this trauma that I had will never happen to me again. However, as I've said from the beginning, life is full of change, and we can't really control these things happening that are potentially traumatic. So all that we can really do is get clear on our wants and needs, and then create boundaries that actually work based on what those things are, based on that clarity. And when you have clear boundaries that are based on a clear space, a clear, open, spacious space, where you're not just coming from a place of trigger, but you're coming from a place of thought out, well-defined, spacious energy, then those boundaries will be so much easier to stick to, because they're actually coming from a place of clarity and clear, spacious energy, which is just so important. If you're all mucked up about something, you're not going to be able to set real boundaries that you'll actually be able to stick to. Number 3 is all about support. It's about being there to get support and accountability for the changes that you need to make. And also, there's a real strength that comes from being able to give support and give accountability and be there for someone else. You know, when I was a teenager and I had started learning about these different kinds of peer coaching, I found it really valuable that I was able to be supportive to somebody else. And it wasn't all about just me talking and me getting my needs met, but being able to sit back and listen to somebody else. And it also taught me at that young age how everybody has problems. And everybody, even if I was talking to, you know, a man in his 40s and I was a teenage girl, I still could give something to him. And that made me feel so much better about myself and about myself as a supportive person. And it's helped shape who I am today. So there's the getting support and there's the giving support. And the accountability within that is really, really valuable to create change. Because so many times when we're creating the change, it gets hard. And we think, you know what? I don't care about this anymore. I'm just not going to do this. It's too hard. And when you have somebody there saying, hey, wait, remember, you said you were going to do this. And even doing it with somebody can be really, really helpful, because then you're helping each other. You know, one does something and the other one does it, and then becomes a cyclical kind of journey where you're working together to create the change. And it's not just about you, and you can't just be like, whatever, it doesn't matter that much, because a lot of times the accountability that we have to ourselves is actually less than what we have to other people. And so not that that's necessarily the best thing, and that's something that we can all work on. However, it's something that is a natural part of being human. So having support and accountability from somebody else, and having that reciprocal kind of situation where you're giving them support as well, is really helpful in creating change. So number 4 is about communication. It's about learning how to really understand what people are saying to you beyond what they're saying to you, and learning how to read underneath the triggers that people have, and learn how to really read what they're saying, and then learning that for your own self. So knowing that when you're saying something, what am I really saying? Sometimes somebody will say, hey, do you want to do that? And you go, sure, I guess I kind of want to do that. Now, does that mean that you want to do that? It means you kind of sure maybe want to do it. And that's not really a hell yes. And so being able to recognize in your own self, like, okay, what is it that I really, really want? And then being able to communicate that in a way of, hey, yeah, this is what I want. And, it's great to know what you want. It's great to set your boundaries based on what you want. But if you can't communicate what you want and need, it kind of all falls flat. You have to be able to really communicate and say, hey, look, this is what I want. This is what I need. And in a clear, non-judgmental way, non-judgmental of yourself, how I talked about before, and non-judgmental of other people and how they might react. A lot of times we don't tell people what we want because we have a fear of how they're going to react. And we're not even giving them the time and space to react. And it's a judgment that we're actually putting on other people. And it's not fair. It's not fair for you to say, well, you know what? I'm not going to tell this person what I really want because they're probably going to be angry at me because of it. That's putting a judgment on that person, and it's probably based on your own fears. Maybe when you were a child, you had parents that got angry. Maybe you had, you've experienced people in your life getting angry. However, that's not necessarily the way that people are, or the way that most people are, or the way that a clear, conscious person is going to be. And so if you're coming at me saying, well, I'm not going to tell you what I want and need because I'm sure you're going to get angry, you're putting me in a box as an unconscious person. And hey, I don't want to be in that box. So being able to communicate what you want and what you need without judging the other person and thinking that they're going to respond a certain way is really, really, really key. Okay. Number 5. Now, number 5 is probably the biggest part of what all of this stuff is about, because it goes underneath everything. It's kind of the foundation for all of this work. And it's about loving yourself. It's about having your own self-worth and developing that so deep so that you know that you deserve to get what you want and need, and that it's not a selfish thing, and that you getting what you want is not taking away from anyone else getting what they want. And if it does, that's okay, because it's up to that person to do all of this same work and to be clear in what they want and to speak it and to know their value. And you can't be responsible for that. You have to be responsible for you and your own value, and let other people be responsible for their own value. And getting what you want and need is in no way taking away from somebody else. It's not taking up too much space or taking away from the world. It's not selfish. You are responsible for your own life, and you need to be the one asking for what you want and need. Nobody else is going to do that for you. And if you're able to be in that space where you can really do that, then you're going to be able to help other people too. You're going to be able to be strong for other people, and you're going to be able to model to other people what that's like. So now that brings me to number 6. And number 6 is about being here in the physical world. It's about solidifying the change and creating the change, and actually the tangible pieces of all of this work that we've talked about. So, you can know what you want, you can create boundaries based on what you want, you can ask for what you want, you can know that you deserve what you want, you can get support along the way, and then what are the actual steps that you're going to take to get what you want. And it's really great to have steps and to have a clear roadmap of where you can go and what you can do to actually create the changes that you want to do. It's wonderful to set up the support system and to know what you want, and then you have to go out and get it. So, what I would like for all of you is to have the ability to go out and get the things that you want and need, and to have this roadmap and have this support and have this clarity. So the cool thing is that I actually have an idea and I have an offer for all of you, because I have done a lot of work in this area, and I have some pretty good ideas about what you can do in this world. So I've developed a program called Love Cleansing Bootcamp, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically a space where we go through all of these 6 steps that I've just talked about and more to get to a point where you can actualize and get what you want. So if you're a strong woman and you feel like you're not getting what you want when it comes to love, maybe you're not getting what you want only when it comes to love. Maybe you're getting what you want in all other aspects, or maybe you're kind of getting what you want in other aspects, or maybe you're not getting what you want in any part of your life. But whatever it is, this can help, and I can help you with that. So if this sounds at all interesting to you, drop me a line. I'm currently enrolling people for the next version of or for the next enrollment of Love Cleansing Bootcamp. And if this is something that you're interested in, it's for women only. So, but you can be anywhere in the world and do this. We're going to be meeting online. So, you can meet me right here, not on Facebook Live, but, you can meet me online and we can do all this work together no matter where you are. I'm really excited to have a nice group of women that have said yes so far, and to be moving forward with all of them. And I'd be happy to move forward with you if you're somebody who feels like this could be a right fit for you. We can sit down and have a conversation, and we can see, hey, is this Love Cleansing Bootcamp something that I might want to do? But if it is, I would say get on it quick, because the program starts at the end of the month. And so if you want to be a part of the program, that's when you're going to have to get to me by. So that's it for today. I'm going to get back to prepping for my workshop this evening. We're going to talk about all this kind of stuff and more. I'm really, really excited. And I think it's going to be a great time for those of you who aren't in the Bay Area. Keep checking me out online and get in touch if you would like to go deeper with me at some point. And if you watch the video, say hi or say like. And it's been nice to chat with all of you today. And I will be back again later. Take care.